Welcome back to another episode of Sal and Pals Go to the Movies. This is another Throwback Thursday review, and I'm here with my friend Touly. Say hi, Touly.
Hi, everybody.
So today we're going to be talking about It's a Wonderful Life from 1946, and just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. An angel is sent from heaven to help a desperate, frustrated businessman by showing him what life would have been like if he had not existed. If you're interested in the cast and other information, click the link below. So I'm going to start off my review by going down my pros and cons. So this movie, to me, I just remember that it's always playing during Christmas. We saw the black and white version. There's colorized versions, but we stuck with the original version, the black and white. Not saying that it takes anything out of it, but I really enjoyed this movie. It's a wholesome movie. You can play in front of your family, especially like Christmas Day, and just sit and enjoy the movie after you open the gifts. It's reminiscent of A Christmas Carol, and all those movies that basically tell you, why it's important to have family, friends, and everything around you, and that money's not really important in life. I just want to say that this movie, just basically saw it on TV, never caught it from the beginning until I was in high school. I actually saw it from beginning to end. When I put it together, I was like, wow, this movie is really nice movie, nice packaged movie. To me, it seemed like it was a nice gift wrapped with everything in the bows, even though it has some mistakes in it, but you can oversee those because the message is there, the core message. Once you finish watching it, you have this kind of like nice warm feeling of community. I guess my pros is the acting was great. I really liked the humor that some of the characters had, some dialogue that is memorable. You could even quote it most of the times. Some of the characters, even the bad guy, you can just point that he is almost like a cookie cutter image of Scrooge from The Christmas Carol. Stuff like that, and little kids, how they act and everything. It's a well balanced movie, really nicely filmed. Even though it's in black and white, you can still see most of the detail and everything. There's one scene that the camera did zoom in, but it's done on purpose, and it looks really grainy, but it's done on purpose because the actor really got into his role, and that was a really unique and authentic moment that the director captured, and he really wanted to be in the film. So when I saw it, I saw like, oh, that's a grainy image. That's probably like a negative on mine, but then I looked it up and it was put in there intentionally, even though the director acknowledged that it's kind of grainy. So that's my positive, that the director did put authentic scenes in there. One of the scenes that I'm going to mention is that this is a little trivia. When the doctor, he basically made young George go deliver the medicine, and he came back and didn't deliver it because it had poison in it. He starts slapping him. Well, in that scene, the young boy actually said that the actor who played the doctor who was drunk was really drunk, and when he slapped his ear, he actually did bleed from the ear. And at the end of the scene, when he hugs him and says it's okay, he actually did when they said cut, he kept on hugging him, and he basically apologized that he went overboard. So to me, having that in there, when I first saw it, it looked really real, and then finding out that it was technically real and that the actor did go overboard by hitting the kid, to me, it was something that, I'm not saying I promote this, but I'm saying that, wow, to have authentic moments in the movie captured on film and being used for the final cut is kind of a like, wow, that's really unique and daring. So now onto my cons. There's really little cons to this movie that I can pinpoint. I would say if I had to pick anything would be that I guess we consider this a Christmas movie when most of the movie is a recap of the character, and just the last portion of it takes place in Christmas. That's kind of the only thing I would want to critique about it. Maybe also some of the camera shots that, when you see the characters talking, they're not really moving their lips. It's basically recorded over their voice. So you hear the voice and you see their lips, but they're not moving. That's my only, I would say, nitpicking about this movie. So with that said, I'm going to pass it on to my friend Touly and see how he saw the movie, and also ask him for the grade.
So it goes without saying that this film is a classic, and to somewhat, not necessarily because it revolves around Christmas time, because the movie do have a tendency to be aired a lot more during this period, but based on the theme that the movie is centered around, I personally feel you could watch it at any time during the year. If you're in the mood to get perspective on your life in terms of like the good, like looking at what you have that is good to help drive and motivate yourself to want to be better, to not necessarily be content with what you have, but at least acknowledge what you have that makes your life have meaning. And I thought this movie, again, beyond the Christmas theme, I thought did a really, really great job at portraying that. I think the movie extends beyond the visual aesthetic of it in terms of the Christmas portrayal. The acting was great. I really felt for George as a character. And actually, like a lot of the throwback movies that I review here with Sal, I mean, for this one, because it came out in 1946, so couldn't have seen it when it came out. But I didn't see it as a kid. It wasn't until later when I was a teenager that I came around to acknowledging that iconic scene at the end when George is running down the street like a lunatic screaming Merry Christmas. And without much context, when I saw that scene for the first time, I thought, man, this guy is crazy. What is he doing? Like, why is he so happy? And it sort of his actions sort of got to me. Like, it made me feel kind of positive in a way. I don't know. It felt kind of weird. And the line at the end where they say that when a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Again, things like that from the film that has, again, transcended the film and become part of pop culture. And it's really hard not to notice these things now in the entertainment industry. And just to give an example of that, like the other day, I saw a commercial on insurance. I mean, it was a sort of a comedy skit as well. And they mentioned a line about, the angel getting its wing from once you hear the bell ring. And of course, I immediately thought about It's a Wonderful Life. So again, it just speaks to the impact of It's a Wonderful Life and how it could make you reflect on the good things in life, hopefully. I would say, though, for a movie that is a little over 2 hours long, I would sort of understand why the movie needed to be as long as it is. To tell two tales, one where George existed and one in which he didn't, sort of drive it down the point that they wanted to drive. I don't know if they could have cut back any scenes or reduce the time to sort of make it a little more compact, if possible. But I would say that would be my only gripe, which isn't really that big of a gripe. And if I were being really nitpicky, it made me chuckle and sort of it just seemed kind of misplaced, I suppose, was when the kid at the end started playing the piano and then everybody joined in to sing. I felt like, I don't know, to me it felt a little forced because it was like, oh, this kid just randomly was on the piano or suddenly was on the piano and she just started to play. It just felt really misplaced to me. It didn't feel as natural as when the second song that the group started to sing. It felt more natural than the kid just starting playing the piano out of nowhere and then everybody joined in. But again, that's me probably being a little nitpicky, but I just felt that being a little funny and weird and misplaced. But other than that, I thought the film was great. You haven't seen it, I would recommend it because like many films that Sal and I reviewed, we mentioned a lot of like pop culture references as well. And definitely this film has some in there. So easily this film gets an 8.5 out of 10 for me.
This movie, it's instilled in the pop culture that we've seen. For example, The Simpsons, they reference this, a lot. And once The Simpsons reference something or make fun of it, it's not like it's a bad thing. It's that it's so good that they're making fun of it. The thing that Touly said, the message, if you're down on your luck or anything and you play this movie or you just watch it on TV, I bet you will end up on a positive note, looking not at stuff that you want to have, but you're reflecting on stuff that you have and you overlook every day. For example, health, family, friends, and just basically the simple fact of having a roof over your head. So for me, this movie is amazing, and not just because it's the message of the movie, but other facts of the movie. For example, the scene of the gym where the floor splits open and underneath is a pool. That is a high school that I actually almost ended up going to. The other thing is that, the snow, before this movie, they would film scenes of the snow by using cornflakes painted white. But since the cornflakes were too loud, they couldn't really use the audio, so they had to always record over and lay it over the film. But in this one, they used a different method by using a compound, a chemical, to create the fake snow. So, all these little ideas and things that came out of there, they even got awards for using that technique. So for me, this movie gets an 8.5, close to 9, but not quite 9 out of 10. So that does it for this review of It's a Wonderful Life. Please join us next time when we're going to review Jumanji from 1995.
Jumanji, a game for those who seek to find a way to leave their world behind. You roll the dice to move your token, doubles gets another turn, and the first player to reach the end wins. You want to play?
Please like, comment, and subscribe, and you can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.